My name is Wachira Kagwongo, the CEO of National Potato Council of Kenya. National Potato Council of Kenya is a PPP organization, that is public-private partnership, which brings stakeholders in the potato industry together, from government agencies to the private sector, such as farmers, seed producers, traders, processors, and input providers. We have been trying to solve challenges of the industry, bringing together people to discuss issues, exchange information, network, and also showcase. An example is today's event, which we call National Potato Conference 2018. We've had two others, 2017 and 2016. Today we are expecting the main guest as the permanent secretary, who will be coming to officially open the event. We expect him to launch public participation for regulation on marketing of potatoes, about packaging, which is supposed to be limited at maximum of 50 kg, and also pricing by weight. We expect also a governor from Elgeyo Marakwet, His Excellency Alex Telgos. He'll also be joining us, and he'll also participate in a discussion of how to improve the potato industry, both at the county and also at national level, and also policies. So we are happy today because we'll be having farmers from all over the country, from different counties, and they're expecting healthy discussion of how to solve issues in the industry. And also they will be coming to learn the technologies and innovations that are there in the industry, the new ones. And also they'll be interacting with the input providers and service providers, financiers, insurance, seed inputs, storage, and all these. So we expect them to learn and maybe engage with the business people during the day as trade fair continues. So today is a very important event here at Karo headquarters, organized by National Potato Council together with the stakeholders in the industry.
This conference has indeed drawn attendance from a wide array of stakeholders, sector players, including policy makers in government, public research, academic, regulatory institutions, private investors, development partners, and not least the farmers and farmer organizations. I'm very gratified to see the representation here of the farmers from different counties, many counties. It therefore provides an excellent forum to appraise the potato sector and focus efforts to improve its competitiveness. KALRO thanks and congratulates the National Potato Council of Kenya for the fruitful collaboration and for its role of coordinating this event. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the concerns of our time is how to ensure adequate supply of nutritious food for human consumption, feeds for livestock, and raw materials for manufacturing new products, while guaranteeing market solutions that make agriculture competitive and profitable for sector players. Finding solutions to these key questions requires the involvement of multi-stakeholders with individual specific complementary roles. And that's why you are here this morning, because everyone has a comparative advantage in your area. And when we pull together, we shall be able to move forward in this industry. I submit that the following areas need to be considered to revitalize the potato sector. One is strengthen seed supply system and expand farmer access to certified seed potato and other inputs. Increase potato productivity, streamline produce aggregation and post-harvest handling, as well as we need to promote public-private partnerships in the potato industry, as well as improving market efficiency and effective regulation of packaging. I encourage the participants of at this conference to take advantage of this forum to form networks that will provide strategic partnerships through which solutions in the potato value chain can be addressed. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
The potato value chain, as we have heard already, is one of the most important value chains in the agricultural economy in Kenya. Approximately 800,000 small-scale farmers grow potato on an area of more than 140,000 hectares. Including the services around the value chain and the processing sector, 2.5 million people depend on this value chain. I wanted to talk of the hidden champion of potatoes being a hidden champion. With these figures, it is not a hidden champion anymore, and it is an open champion here in Kenya. At the same time, of course, there are some challenges or issues that farmers are facing. The low yields, the potential of it is 40 tons, and we have actually 8 tons per hectare due to low-quality seed potatoes, outdated agricultural practices, declining soil fertility, emerging pests and diseases. Secondly, high price fluctuation, low prices during the harvesting season, and which can even lead to it that there's a loss to the farmer, a net loss. While there are high prices in the off-season, the solutions are quite obvious. Options for price stabilization are to sell less in the harvesting season and more in the off-season, which requires investment in storage or irrigation. Farmers, we know, have little access to financing for such investments, and often they are not organized in a way that it makes economically sense in farmers' organizations, for example. Thirdly, the processing potential of potatoes is just being tapped. There is a lot more that can be done in the value addition through processing here in potato industry in Kenya, and for sure for the sub-region. Fourthly, the nutrition potential of potatoes are not fully utilized or recognized. Potato-growing countries as Nyandarua and Bomet have unfortunately one of the highest stunting rates in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of work has been done. A lot of work is still in front of us. This is why we have a conference like this, to achieve the ambitious targets of the Big Four. By joining forces of all stakeholders from private as well as from public sector, I am optimistic that we will better utilize the high potentials that the potato value chain offers, obviously. I wish us a fruitful exchange today and honest discussion between all stakeholders in order to come up with feasible ideas to transform the sector into as competitive as possible value chain in the coming year and to be a great flagship for all of us. Thank you very much.
It's an important period for Kenya, coming from years of placing potatoes as a strategic crop, and now clearly putting potatoes on the map of the Big Four in terms of achieving food security, nutrition, but also opportunities for private sector for investing and opportunities for businesses. I think one thing that we all agree is that productivity has been low, and the potato produce has been of poor quality. Potato yields have been declining in the recent past at the rate of 11% per year, attributed to inadequate quality seed to meet the required annual demand of 200,000 metric tons. Consequently, this has resulted in widespread of pests and diseases in most of the potato growing areas. There have been losses along the value chain, estimated at 19% per year due to poor post-harvest handling, meaning the country loses up to 13 billion shillings along the potato value chain. And so in order to deliver on food security, in order to deliver on potato as prioritized under the Big Four, efforts will have to focus on farmer empowerment. And when I say farmer empowerment, I'm talking about training the farmers on good farm management practices and also enabling them to access finance for quality planting material. Technology and innovation is going to be an important one. Technology that touch on investments in irrigation and cold chain storage. One other important factor is improvement of the legal and policy framework, as well as development and review of the current standards. And so how can this be achieved? The need for stakeholder partnerships has become apparent for the various institutions that are engaged in agricultural development. And the purpose of forming our platform, as we have done in partnership with AGRA, National Potato Council of Kenya, and ourselves, Grow Africa, was to bring together development partners, private sector, farmers themselves, and a processing market to closer collaborations and understanding the process of trust building. And so the potato platform, as currently structured, is intended to provide solutions to the subsector in a regular and a coordinated manner. I have a couple of areas that I'd like to recommend based on the outcomes that we anticipate today. A couple of outcomes that I hope that the working groups or the sessions this afternoon will look at. One of them is seed potato production and distribution. I'm hoping that this group would lead the implementation of activities planned for the seed production and distribution, monitor progress, support business development in the subsector, and encourage and boost investor confidence. Another pillar that I'm hoping we could land is investment finance and resource mobilization, to be able to raise funds for projects at the farmer group level that are multiplying seed, and also, work with cooperatives, not only to be cooperatives, but also to have channels through which they can generate incomes and, of course, include more members. So I look forward to fruitful deliberations and a clear action plan that can fit into the national strategy. Thank you.
Potato is the second most important food crop after maize, not only in Elgeyo Marakwet, county where I come from, but also in Kenya. In my county, the enterprise is the leading horticultural crop, and a source of regular income to over 50,000 growers. The county grows approximately 20,000 hectares of potato and produces over 300,000 metric tons annually. Production is predominantly done by smallholder farmers with an average of less than 1 hectare piece of land and a few medium-scale farmers under rain-fed system. But majority of the farmers do not practice crop rotation due to diminishing land size and the limited options with consumerate returns. Bacterial wilt is a major challenge in all the potato growing areas, and the average yield per hectare is currently approximately 13 tons. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference therefore brings us together to evaluate the status of this subsector and forge stronger synergies to take it forward. And I know one of the areas that the farmers are really focusing is the creation of or building the cold rooms. But again, I think out of this conference we'll be able to discuss and see whether it will be cost effective for farmers to or counties to build these cold rooms. However, construction of modern potato cold room has been limited due to high potential capital requirement for such interventions, and we need the financial assistance of the national government and development partners to achieve this. Market prices fluctuate depending on the seasonality and bargaining power. Farmers' access to market information is limited to their interaction with the middlemen and the Lone Ranger marketing approach by the potato farmers. Thus, a stable market is necessary to spur production and benefit our farmers. The national government can consider purchasing potatoes as part of the relief food reserves. There is also very limited agro-processing of potato taking place in the country, and there is need to promote agro-processing of potato produce to expand the market for this commodity. Low potato productivity due to disease continue to be a major problem in the sector as a result of over-replanting of farmer-saved seeds, inadequate funding towards potato seed development, inadequate dissemination, transportation, and low usage of clean potato seeds by growers in the county. It is estimated that only 5 to 10% of growers use quality seed. Most of farmers use on-farm saved seed or buy tubers from neighbors or local market. This practice, however, promote pest and disease build-up, resulting in low yields. Efforts have been made by the county governments in partnership with Potato Center in assisting the farmers access quality seed, as well as capacity building of farmers on use of quality seed. However, this intervention is still in the initial stages and needs more support, hence insufficient to meet the demand. We also require adequate supply of planting fertilizer for our farmers, since potato is grown throughout the year compared to other crops like maize, which require a one-off application during planting. One of the challenges that we're having in our counties is the issue of standard growth in our young children. The counties that grow potatoes have these challenges. And a good example is Elgeyo Marakwet, where a research was done and it indicated that the standard growth is at 29% and the national average is 26%. And when you look at maybe you rank counties in terms of potato production, you realize that Elgeyo Marakwet, we are in top 3 or top 5. So meaning that our farmers grow a lot of potatoes, but it ends up being sold to the market. And I was surprised to learn that in Elgeyo Marakwet, we even export our potato to neighboring countries like Tanzania and Uganda. So if you go to Kampala today, you'll find a lot of trucks from potatoes from Elgeyo Marakwet, whereas the consumption at home is still very low. So there is need for us to encourage our farmers to consume what we have, and by doing that, we will create markets for our own products, and we'll do well.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to join you today on this occasion as you hold the 3rd Annual National Potato Conference and Trade Fair. I take this early opportunity to commend the National Potato Council of Kenya for organizing this forum that is providing various players with a platform for facilitating the much-needed stakeholder engagement. It is through these kind of forums that transformative ideas are born that have the capability of addressing our challenges in food and nutrition security. In order for the potato subsector to play its rightful role in the Big Four agenda, the forthcoming agricultural sector transformation and growth strategy has identified specific interventions that include investments in seed and production and multiplication of potato seeds, mechanization of labor, and management of post-harvest losses. Going forward, the ministry, working together with the county governments and the private sector, expects to make interventions in the potato value chain that include harmonization of legislation and regulations on weights, measures, market fees, and levies across counties, increased supply of certified seed potato and strengthening of certification services, improve coordination and linkages of value chain actors, strengthen market infrastructure and governance to streamline handling and marketing of potatoes, support development of SMEs in potato, and facilitate the inclusion of socially vulnerable groups. In this regard, today I want to take advantage of this forum to officially kickstart public participation of the 50-kilogram potato packaging and pricing regulation. I expect that the process will be inclusive and that in the next few months, indeed specifically with effect from 1st July, we should be gazetting these regulations to bring order to this sector. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to conclude by assuring the potato farmers in Kenya, to assure also the private sector and our also important and critical stakeholders that the government will continue to play its key role of providing the enabling environment for the thriving of business in the potato subsector.
And I want to tell our farmers, because I know farmers are here today, you know, brokers come in different forms, and sometimes they threaten farmers that they will not buy their product if they are not packaged in the 90 or 110 kgs. But I want to tell the farmers, because what I encourage the farmers in Elgeyo Marakwet is that when you look at the number of lorries coming to our county to ferry potatoes, if we stop them for even a week, it will mean that the market supply will go down, and eventually they will yield to pressure and they will agree to purchase in the 50 kg package. And What we told the brokers is that we don't care how, if they want to sell it in the market at even 200 kilos, let them buy first of all in 50 kilos, then they take to their vehicle, they repackage. That will be none of our business.
But you don't harvest the potatoes on the same day when you cut the leaves.
Do you understand, farmers?
Yes. You also do it?
No, they don't do it.
But do me a favor, I understand it's difficult and it's a risk. Take 25 plants, cut them 7 days before you do your traditional way of cutting. And then lift them up with the rest of your crop and see the difference on the skin set. And maybe you are convinced. I can tell you all about it, but you have to find out yourself.
If you want to do good farming as a business, seed is very important. We always sing, utavuna kile ulipanda. So if you don't plant certified seed, you can be sure even the product you get, that's what you gonna, and it will be equal to the amount and effort that you put. I always tell farmers, you are plowing that land, you are harrowing that land, you are using planting labor, you are weeding. Why not just invest a bit in a seed that will give you the kind of yield that you're supposed to get?
Mnapouza, nyinyi mnabaki mkikula gani? Sababu I'm sure most of you eat the rejects. Am I right? And then you give the person exporting the best, yenye iko na all the nutrients. So hiyo ndio nataka mfanye hiyo calculation. Hiyo chakula mnapanda, pesa mnapata, ni nini nawafanya okay, kama hamna afya nzuri, kazi hamtaweza kufanya. Ni wangapi wamekuwa na shida ya kupata wafanyikazi? Ama wako kwa wingi. Lakini ile pesa mnawalipa ni nyingi sababu hawawezi fanya kazi vile inatakikana. Hiyo inaweza kaa kama theory. Lakini ukienda uanze kuangalia ile mama ulipea kazi, utaanza kujiuliza, huyu mama afanyangi kazi vile na expect sababu hana afya nzuri. Ama wewe mwenyewe una afya nzuri sababu ufikiri kwamba ile chakula unakuza ndio inaweza kufanya wewe na afya nzuri.
We are happy to be with the right people, the farmers, and the leadership in government, national and representative of county government, who are able, who can tell us, who can lead us, who can declare. And I'm sure today most of the farmers are happy. Their hearts are rejoicing. We had a story during one of the committee sittings about some farmers in one of the counties who grow potatoes, who have 2 fields of potato, one for home consumption, the other one for marketing. And the substance used to enhance the potato for marketing is different, and we don't know how secure it is. So you can see the kind of things we are going through. So we agreed that we'll be getting the approved chemicals by PCPP. We are working with the PCPP to create awareness about the approved chemicals which should be used by the farmers. So in that regards, potato training handbook is here. This is the first copy, and we are very thankful to GIZ for the support and the committee that has been sitting to develop this. We'll be sharing it through the website and a few copies for each county. So it's also important to appreciate those who are involved, all the key players, CARO, Ministry of Agriculture, county governments, MPSK, SNB, IFDC, and others.
Good evening. My name is Wairimu Kanyere. I'm a rural woman farmer from Molo and Groots, Kenya. And we are 100 organized groups in Mola Sub-County, Crescent North and Crescent South. We are practicing the potato value chain. On behalf of the farmers, we are very grateful for this educative platform. We say much thank you. May God bless you.
The event today of the National Potato Conference was very successful. We had the PAs who came and he opened it officially. We also had him officially declare that the regulations on potato packaging and pricing by weight will take effect from July 1st. And farmers were very happy about this because it's something that has been disturbing farmers for a long time, because farmers have been selling potato with those big bags which they sell to traders, and the prices are not regulated per se. But now, after that, it means farmers will be selling potatoes by kilos, which means you know how much you have sold, how much has come from your farm, and the prices will be better. So farmers have learned a lot and they're happy. They went through the exhibitions, they could see new varieties, they were able to see the chemicals and also interact with many experts. Also, different stakeholders were able to exchange notes and also contacts and engage. So it was a very big event and we are happy the way it happened. The discussions were very healthy, and we expect finally we will produce a summary or a report of the event, giving summary of what happened and what will be pursued from there.